Welcome to the channel. Have you ever looked at someone achieving something truly incredible and just thought to yourself, how on earth did they do that? Well, today we are unlocking the answer. We're diving into a blueprint from Stephen Kotler's amazing book, The Art of Impossible. And this isn't just theory. We're talking about a practical guide to unlocking your own peak performance.
So let's just start with the one big question that holds so many of us back. Is greatness really just for the gifted? Is it all some kind of secret genetic lottery, leaving the rest of us on the sidelines?
Kotler's answer is a powerful, resounding no. And what he offers isn't just some feel-good motivation or a high-energy pep talk. No, this is different. This is a blueprint, a real, systematic, science-backed process for achieving what you once thought was impossible.
All right, so here's how we're going to break down this blueprint today. First, we'll smash the impossible myth. Then, we're going to look at redefining ambition. After that, we'll unpack the core of the whole system, the peak performance stack. Then, we'll explore this crucial mental shift called the how do I shift. And finally, we'll see how all of this leads to your inevitable goal. Okay, let's jump into our first section, the impossible myth. And I really want you to pay attention to this subtitle, because it is a total game changer. How a fixed wall becomes a moving door.
This quote just perfectly nails the central idea. Kotler argues that the way we see impossible is just wrong. We see it as this permanent, solid barrier we can't get past. But he reframes it. It's not a wall, it's a door that moves. The limits we thought were set in stone are actually fluid. And if you have the right tools, you can learn how to open that door.
Okay, let's move on and see how this all builds. Section 2, redefining ambition. This is all about making that shift from just having these reckless dreams to doing disciplined, purpose-driven work.
And this brings us to a really important contrast. Most of us, we're familiar with old ambition, that feeling of just kind of dreaming big, wishing for something huge to happen. Kotler introduces new ambition. And this is where the magic is. It's not about wishing, it's about disciplined, methodical work that has a real purpose behind it. It's ambition with a strategy.
So here's the thing. This isn't about just grinding harder. It's about working smarter. The real art here is working in sync with your own biology. Understanding how your brain is already wired for learning and focus and progress, and then using that system to your advantage.
Okay, now let's get into the how, the real engine of this whole blueprint. Section 3, the peak performance stack. And this isn't some abstract theory. These are 5 real, learnable skills that lead to extraordinary results. Think of this like a sequence, right? Each skill builds on the one before it. It all kicks off with motivation. That's about finding those deep internal drivers that light the initial spark. From there, you build drive, which is the focus that keeps you going day in and day out. That drive helps you tap into flow, being in the zone. In that state, your creativity just explodes, unlocking new solutions. And finally, when the newness wears off, you rely on grit, that pure resilience to see things through to the very end.
Let's just pause on flow for a second, because it is so central to Kotler's work. He defines it as a peak state where you feel your best and you perform your best. I mean, you know this feeling. It's when you're in the zone, so absorbed in what you're doing that your sense of self and even time itself just kind of melts away. It is the ultimate state of human performance. Okay, so we're about halfway through, and the core of the system is now on the table. If this blueprint is already sparking some ideas for you, just take a quick second to like this explainer and hit subscribe. That way you won't miss out on our future deep dives. All right, let's get back to it.
All right, on to our next section, which is about a really simple but incredibly profound mindset change. Section 4, the how do I shift. And Kotler argues this is maybe the most important question you can ever ask yourself.
Most of us, when we're staring down a huge, intimidating goal, we start right here. We ask, can I? This is the question of doubt. It frames the entire challenge around what we can't do, and it basically invites our inner critic to just scream no.
But just watch what happens when we change one little word. We go from can I to how do I. This changes the entire game. It's no longer a question of doubt, it's a question of strategy. It assumes it can be done. The only thing left to figure out is the plan.
See, asking how do I is the trigger. It's the starting pistol. It's the command that tells your brain to fire up that peak performance stack we just talked about, to build the motivation, the drive, the flow, the creativity, and the grit you need to find the answer and make it real.
And all of this brings us to our final powerful section,
your inevitable goal. This is where everything clicks into place, and those massive, scary goals start to become an achievable reality.
So let's just quickly recap the big takeaways from this entire blueprint. First, and this is the most important one, greatness isn't a gift, it's a process that you can learn. Second, real ambition isn't just dreaming, it's disciplined work with a purpose. Third, peak performance comes from a stack of skills you can actually train. And finally, the biggest mindset shift you can make is to stop asking, can I? And start asking, how do I?
And this right here, this is the ultimate payoff. It's the promise of Kotler's work. When you follow the right process, when you build that stack and ask the right questions, those huge, bold goals that used to seem so terrifying, they suddenly feel different. They start to feel inevitable.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. After seeing this blueprint, after understanding this process, what impossible goal in your own life are you now going to make inevitable? If this explainer sparked something for you, I would love to read about your impossible goal down in the comments. Share this with anyone you know who's chasing a big dream, hit that like button, and definitely subscribe for more blueprints just like this one. Thanks for listening.